We are just days away from the Winter Olympics in Beijing. Meantime, tensions are rising as calls to boycott the Games grow due to China's ongoing human rights abuses. And joining me now is Gordon Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War. Gordon, great to see you. Let's talk a little bit more about the Olympics. What concerns do you have regarding the Games and our athletes?
Well, first of all, on the Games itself, we know that China is committing genocide, crimes against humanity, and other atrocities. These are the worst since the mass extermination started in 1941. But what China is doing right now is comparable prior to the mass killings. These Games legitimize the Chinese regime. And if we have any notion of civilization, we've got to protect people. And we're not doing that with these Games. Now, with regard to the athletes, we can't protect them, their safety. We know that China's going to harvest their DNA. They're going to be subject to extreme pressure from the Beijing regime. And also there's COVID-19, which is now raging across China, including the Beijing municipality itself. So these Games should not be occurring right now for so many different reasons.
Now, Gordon, according to a recent article that was in the Washington Examiner, the Federal Communications Commission actually banned China Unicom Americas because of its national security threat. Meanwhile, that company is said to be the official telecom company of the Olympics. What more do you know about this, and what risk could this pose?
Washington should have banned China Unicom a long time ago. You know, in China's top-down system, every company like Unicom must do the bidding of the Chinese military and the Communist Party itself. It posed a national security threat then, and I'm glad that this is occurring right now. But we've got to remember the Chinese system is very different from ours. And a company like Unicom has got to do the bidding of the party, which has declared the United States to be its enemy. So I don't know why we waited this long.
Yeah, indeed. You know what? I want to turn now to Taiwan. Ambassador Qin Gang called Taiwan a, quote, tinderbox that could spark military conflict between the United States and China if America continues to support Taiwanese independence. I want to get your thoughts on that. And Gordon, do you think we are on a path towards war with China?
Well, regarding Ambassador Qin's comments, first of all, they were unusually specific. Normally, the Chinese diplomats talk in pretty flowery terms, and they can say "sea of fire" and things like that. This time, it was very clear that there could be war with the United States. I think China is bluffing, but the problem is that right now in the Chinese political system, you have the military being extremely influential. The hardliners are setting the tone. And that means if we have an accident with China in the air or on the surface of the sea, there could very well be a spiral downwards. So, yes, we've got to be concerned. And by the way, we're not deterring China. It's very clear throughout this last year. And if you can't deter China, that means we got to prepare for war.
Yeah, also on top of mind right now, as you know, is the conflict in Ukraine. Do you think the possibility of Russia invading Ukraine, do you think that will have any impact on China, and if it will invade Taiwan?
Well, China and Russia coordinate their foreign policies. Their militaries have been working very closely together. And Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, is going to look very closely at our reaction to Vladimir Putin's pressuring of Ukraine. So if Putin actually bites off a part of Ukraine, takes another part, then China is going to feel that they can do whatever they want with regard to Taiwan. Now, I'm not saying that the Chinese perception is correct, but that's not important. What's important is what the Chinese feel. And so, yes, they already feel that the United States is in terminal decline. They can do what they want. And a failure in Ukraine really means that there will be much more pressure somewhere in East Asia. Could very well be Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, maybe India, but there's going to be trouble if we're not resolute and stout in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, another thing, Gordon, I want to bring up is North Korea. That country has launched 7 missiles so far just in 2022. What do you think is sparking this? And do you think China has any influence in North Korea's actions?
Kim Jong-un, the North Korean ruler, feels that he can do what he wants because the Biden administration is, first of all, just sort of in disarray right now. And I think that Kim is taking advantage of what he perceives to be an opening. China can tell North Korea what to do. They've got that much power. got to remember that more than 90% of North Korea's international commerce is with China. China supports it in diplomatic councils like the UN. The Kim family, they abhor the Chinese personally, but they know that they've got to do what Beijing wants. So when Beijing says stop it, or when Beijing says do something, the North Koreans say, yes, sir.
And Gordon, not a whole lot of time left, but wondering what else you were following in regard to China.
Well, right now, I think the problem is the internal crises, the Evergrande problem, debt crisis. That could just change everything we know about China within a week.
And we know you'll continue to follow that, and we'll continue following you as well. Gordon, thank you so much. Always appreciate your analysis.
Thank you, Tracy.